It is Monday, everybody, so I am being joined by the brothers Ablet. That's how we would say it if we're from the States. If you're locally, we got the two dingas here, brothers Brandon and Landon. It not only am I wishing you guys a happy belated Liberation Day, but happy belated birthday, gentlemen. You guys were born on July 21st, so a wonderful day to celebrate for the two of you. So happy belated.
Thank you. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you so much, Jason.
Okay, now Brandon, last time I talked to you, because Landon was off island on work, your forecast about what the weather would be not only for Liberation Day, but then the following day and then Sunday, spot on, bro. I mean, it was absolutely gorgeous weather on our 79th Liberation Day, and then the next day, not so much.
Yeah, and so we've seen that. We got lucky. It would have been a great day for a parade, weather-wise, but it would have also been hot. And so it kind of comes with it. There's good, the bad, but which side of it do you focus on? And but yes, it was a beautiful day, and then we did have some showers with one of those upper level features coming by that kind of helps produce some of those thunderstorms, and much like what we're seeing today.
Yeah, definitely we're going to have a continuation of the wetter pattern. We are in the beginning stage of the wet season. We're looking at the Doppler weather radar right now on my screen, showing those spotty showers pushing through across central northern Guam. Folks in Dededo, Chico, Anderson Air Force Base, you're going to be seeing some heavy showers between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock this morning, and then it's going to taper off. But just short duration showers, they're going to come, dump a heavy shower, and then move right off. That's going to be the theme at least through Tuesday. Elsewhere, nothing much to speak of. But we're going to open up to the satellite, the visible satellite imagery showing the weather around Guam and the CNMI. Nothing too bad out there, but zooming out to our west, there's a lot of weather to speak of. This is a Typhoon Doksuri. This is our fifth tropical cyclone of the 2023 season.
Oh
This is a
no.
Category 2 typhoon that is threatening the Philippines, not expected to make landfall in the Philippines, but we're going to be seeing heavy showers, thunderstorms, gusty winds, and of course that comes with the potential for mudslides and landslides,
And let me
especially in
just
those
cut in there
high
for a second
mountainous
because
regions.
Brandon, this is what you were telling me last week when we spoke because something was forming down around like Palau, which maybe has obviously has strengthened in intensity and is moving now towards our friends over in the PI, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. And of course, we were watching this system. I was up in Japan last week and I was getting messages from folks concerned about this. And so this is the disturbances, a disturbance that was developing in Yap and Palau region. This
Yeah.
is now since materialized into something more formidable. Fortunately, it's passed away from Palau and Yap. And now this is something that the Philippines will have to watch closely. But again, not expected to make direct landfall, but those impacts, they will be felt across much of central, northern, Philippines, Luzon, folks in Manila expect gusty winds and showers later this week. But more locally, we're going to zoom right back into the Western Micronesia region. This is Guam right up here, Yap and Palau. There's another disturbance we're watching. This is Invest Area 91W as labeled by the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. This is rated low for development, which means that development is not likely within the next 24 hours. So it's still in its formative stages, but this could develop into the next tropical cyclone somewhere in the vicinity of Yap or Palau, maybe by later this week. We're going to be gathering a lot of information, watching this closely, and communicating this with our partners. But is this a threat to Guam or the CNMI? This is not a threat, but we're looking at a surface trough to kind of zip up around and bring more showers to Yap or to Guam and the CNMI Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Thursday. That could bring us more gusty winds, heavy showers and thunderstorms around that time frame. So midweek, expect wetter conditions across Guam and the CNMI.
Gotcha. Okay, let me ask older brother Brandon real quick because earlier Brandon, when I talked to you earlier this year, you were saying that we are expecting, according to that wonderfully detailed report that you put out, that we could expect like what was it between 3 to 5 tropical disturbances, tropical cyclones before the end of the year, possibly maybe 2 or 3 or 4 of them could be of typhoon strength. Are these counted towards that number?
Well, it depends on how close they get to us, and so especially for Yap and Palau, that's going to be it's one of it'll fall under one of those confirming storms. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a direct hit for it to be a storm that has impacts. We could have a typhoon that passes 300 miles away, and we still have some potentially significant impacts just from the peripheral rains and those gusty winds. But probably we'd want to see something, well, not that we want to see it, but for it to be closer to us than Yap to really count toward one of those statistics. But certainly with the El Nino pattern that we're seeing this year, that does tend to lead to more development farther to the south and east of us. And so that does increase our risk for tropical cyclones to pass near or over the Marianas.
So for you newly inducted armchair meteorologists, and there are thousands and thousands of us now, like on Guam, especially what Mawar now gave us a knowledge for. If a storm tends to form, like as you said, like around Yap, around Palau, that's a little bit more towards the west of us. Typically, that heads up to the Philippines, like we're saying with the with that Category 2 typhoon. Now, when stuff starts forming in what we call Typhoon Alley, right around like Chuuk State, that's more likely to do the hockey stick effect and like head up towards us, right?
That's right. So they typically have this westward motion as they're really deep down into the Micronesia Islands, and then they eventually start lifting up, gaining latitude, so lifting a little bit farther north, and then eventually turning to the west northwest, then to the north, and then they start rounding up to the northeast as they get to the south of Japan. And that's all because of the subtropical ridge, this ridge of high pressure, usually well to our north, about 20 to 25 degrees north latitude, and so that's a clockwise flowing air mass. And so that kind of helps push tropical cyclones down in the islands, push them westward, and then they kind of round the weaker point of the ridge. And so with the case of Typhoon Mawar, there was a weakness in the ridge, a bit of a surface trough frontal system that kind of allowed Mawar to lift northward from the southwest of Chuuk, and it came right toward the Marianas before that ridge strengthened. And then that made Mawar do that left turn toward the west-northwest, right around the northern tip of Guam. Otherwise, had that ridge not strengthened, Mawar could have gone farther north into Rota or even closer to Tinian Saipan.
Okay, guys, please tell me that that's all we have to like think about like this week as far as weather.
Well,
for now, that's all we have to think about at this point.
Yes, it's all you.
Even if it's just a placebo, I'll take that at this point. Give me the sugar pill.
Yeah, and I always tell people we are the ones that worry about the weather. Y'all just be prepared, but let us stress over the weather, and sometimes it can be very stressful. But definitely, we're out looking at a wetter pattern this week, but no significant tropical cyclone threats to Guam and the CNMI at this time.
Okay, that being said, though, everybody want to be really, really careful out on the roads because the wet stuff could be coming down, and that will make island commute a little bit more less safe than normally is the case. So, birthday boys, some final thoughts on how your Liberation Day was.
Brandon, you want to go first?
Sure.
Age before
for
beauty.
me, it was a nice, relaxing day. We had the Guam Running Club had their Liberation Mile, and so I did very well pushing my son in the jogging stroller. And I got a personal best for the 1 mile at just over 5 minutes. So I'm happy with that. And
is that counting with the stroller, or that's a personal best overall? That's even stroller-less.
Personal best with the stroller and technically personal best overall. I did do 2 seconds faster 15 years ago in Kwajalein, but I would say this is the personal best that had a GPS tracking. And so I'm very happy with that. But the rest of the day, just spending it with family and friends. So can't complain, and had a nice dinner with my wife, Shirley, and son, Liam. So couldn't have asked for more.
Very, very nice. Now, Landon, you were on another island. You were away from here, but you were up in Japan.
I was up in Japan, and so this is my first trip to Japan since before COVID. And so I was excited to be back up there visiting with some friends and also a colleague from Jackson, Kentucky, which I was also given some new bling from my wall.
Whoa!
This is from a Kentucky bourbon barrel. And so I cannot wait to get this up on the wall in my office to go with my collection of artifacts from different places and different islands. So
I'm just going to go ahead and guess. I mean, obviously I can't tell how heavy it is, but I don't think you're going to want to use like regular, like little, those like hammer on hooks and everything. That thing looks pretty robust. You may need
they
industrial
have
strength
some small screws in there, and I question those exactly for that reason. It's pretty solid.
Gotta love
that. I've got this nice planter from the gardening store.
Hey, that works. Well, better gentlemen than me know more about the weather. And guys, without you, we would be like totally in the dark. So we appreciate it, man. Happy belated birthday. Once again, happy liberation to you both and your families.
Thank you. Happy
Thank you so much,
liberation.
and